students. Welcome to the course on Gender Sensitization, Society and Culture. This course is a supplementary course for BA Honours students in subjects like history and English. This course virtually includes 6 topics, 6 blocks, which are further divided into 15 chapters. For your understanding, I will introduce the course for you. The course is divided into 6 units under the headings of conceptualizing gender, gender and family, gender and work, health and work, gender, law and society, gender representation in media. I will give you a broader understanding of what these units and what you can anticipate in the course. Firstly, we shall understand in the block 1, we shall understand how sex is different and gender is different, and how gender is nothing but a social construct. Then we shall understand the concepts like of masculinity and femininity, and how our everyday lives are based on the roles associated with masculinity and femininity. Further, in block 2, we shall understand how, based on our identity, how when we talk about what is sex and what is gender, what we divide in society is what is male, masculine, and what is feminine, how we divide that into the roles of each person. So in a family, you will see the roles played by men, their responsibilities, the roles played by women, their responsibility, how marriages are carried out on these roles, and how socially we know what are the roles and expectations from a male or masculine gender, and how what are the expectations and roles of a feminine gender. Further, we shall understand the concept of motherhood. Motherhood is particularly associated with women, wherein women are expected to carry out the role of the nurturers, because in our society we think men are the breadwinners and women are the caregivers. In block 3, we shall understand what is division of labor. How, based on these differences in the different genders, we divide all the work in the society. Mostly paid work is associated with men and unpaid work is associated with women. However, in the modern society, you have seen that women are now contributing to productive labor. Women are associated with productive labor. And however, in block 4, we'll understand that though women are now progressively being empowered, they still women do not have full access over their bodies. The reproductive rights, the right who chooses to for them to have birth, sets age limit for them to get married, have children, whether or not they can continue with the female pregnancy when they have a female fetus, is what we shall see in block 4. Women do not have rights over their body, as a result of which women also suffer from a bad reproductive health in India, because they're forced to undergo multiple pregnancies till the time they do not offer the families a male child. Also, often forced to marry at younger ages, women have bad reproductive health in India. In block 5, we shall next focus on how, like we've discussed earlier, women are now contributing to work, productive work. It leads to sexual harassment at work. Men still try to dominate women, and as a method of exercising power and control, still women are underpaid. Their work is undervalued, even though they may be professionally well qualified. This is at the professional front. At a domestic front, women still continue to face harassment, violence in terms of dowry, in terms of beating, forcing them to do domestic unpaid work, irrespective of their own wishes or qualification. In block 6, which is the last block, once we've developed a formal understanding of the course, we shall try to appreciate gender in and around our everyday life. In this, media plays a very, very big role. Media helps us understand the image that the society holds for women and men, especially when you go to see movies. You know what is the heroine trying to project, what is the hero trying to project. When you watch advertisements related to your washing powder, you see women doing all those jobs. The kitchen related chores, you see best of the heroines, advertising for your hair oils, your beauty products, your cosmetics. Whereas when it comes to automobiles, your bikes, you have men doing, or your heroes doing those advertisements. Lastly, when we talk in our everyday language, also, the gender bias is very, very applicable. However, society is now moving towards a gender neutral language. When we talk about actor and actresses, we now prefer to use the term actor itself. When we are talking about an unborn child, we use the term it. We do not force a gender upon the child. When we're talking about masculine, or when we're talking about traits related to children, we don't associate specific traits with boys and girls. So therefore, even though the society is progressing towards a general gender neutral society, the gender biases and the gender differences are so embedded that it is very important that we first begin to even appreciate that they exist. That is the aim of this course. As I will again like to highlight, the scope of this course is to sensitize students to these gender issues that exist in everyday life, because they are so embedded that we often fail to notice them. There has to be it will lead to a better understanding of social issues. It will help us understand the gender biases in everyday life. As to when I tell you that there are the advertisements which are so focused on washing powders being sold by some of the most famous actresses, hair oils being sold by the most famous actresses, we don't these differences go unnoticed. So the idea of this course is to become that sensitive to interpret this bias in everyday life, and thereby prevent a gender based violence in terms of physical, vocal, or spoken everyday life. Thank you.